mentioned in the previous video, this course is designed to use a problem-based learning, or PBL approach. The purpose of this video is to help you develop familiarity with the overall concepts and techniques of PBL. During this video, please reflect on the following analysis questions. What is problem-based learning? How does PBL differ from conventional education? What are the essential elements of PBL? What is the student's role in the PBL process? And what is the instructor's role in the PBL process? Before we consider what PBL is, take a few minutes to reflect on your own definition of PBL and think about how a course design using PBL might be different from previous adult learning experiences that you've encountered. According to Fogarty, PBL is a curriculum model designed around real-life problems that are ill-structured, open-ended, or ambiguous. PBL is a constructivist instructional strategy that is focused on solving problems that occur in the real world of practice. The presentation of each problem is deliberately ill-structured, as the intention is not to produce one specific solution, but rather to get students themselves to identify their own learning needs as they attempt to understand the problem, to pull together, synthesize, and apply information to the problem. In PBL, the process of problem solving is equally, if not more important, than the solution to the problem itself. PBL transforms the entire curriculum into a student-centered approach, emphasizing knowledge construction rather than knowledge transmission. Traditional teaching strategies typically emphasize the coverage of content via lecture, whereas the PBL method relies on the problem as a vehicle to guide learners to relevant content information. PBL challenges that traditional assumption that information should be acquired before problem solving can begin, and instead starts with the problem, which enables students to realize the gaps in their knowledge and stimulates them to direct their learning towards filling these gaps. The fact that a problem is introduced first as a stimulus for learning, rather than following a presentation of facts and concepts, is the most distinctive feature of PBL. Take a moment to think about the advantages that you see PBL having over conventional educational strategies. PBL allows you to explore the content of the course while learning how to solve real-world problems. It emphasizes critical thinking, problem-solving skills, research skills, and teamwork skills. Having to decide what to learn and how to learn it can be difficult at first, but these are lifelong learning skills that are essential for a career in adult education. In PBL, whether working individually or as a group, you are responsible for your own learning and are expected to examine gaps in your own or the group's knowledge and skills in order to decide what information you need to acquire in order to resolve the problem scenario. You are responsible for using available resources as well as finding additional resources to resolve the problems. Take a moment to reflect on the inventory of the strengths that you bring to the PBL process. In PBL, the role of the instructor is to facilitate the learning process, rather than instruct and disseminate information. So in this course, instead of telling you what you should be learning, I will try and guide you towards recognizing it yourself. During the course of your individual and group PBL activities, you should feel free to use me as a resource. You may wish to pose questions over material you're uncertain about, aspects of the problem or case which are not too clear, explanations of concepts, theories, or ideas that are confusing to you. But I will encourage you to first use one another in your group to resolve your issues, and I will be sure to monitor group discussions and make comments and ask questions as your discussion proceeds. The PBL scenarios used in this course are grounded in real-world contexts and are based on my own work with adult learning, readings, and conversations with colleagues. They are complex, messy, and have no one right answer. A common model that is used when describing the PBL process is the 7-step method that was developed by Masstricht University. The 7-step model consists of first, clarifying and agreeing on working definitions, unclear terms, and concepts, defining the problem and agreeing which phenomena require explanation, analyzing the problem and brainstorming, arranging explanations to a tentative solution, generating and prioritizing learning objectives, researching the objectives through private study, and then reporting back, synthesizing explanations, and applying new information to the original problems. Please consider the following synthesis questions. What characteristics of PBL make it appropriate for this course? How can you see your role as a student changing in a PBL environment? What about the role of the instructor? Thinking critically, what are the perceived advantages or disadvantages of PBL environments? And what can you do to prepare for PBL? What resources will be helpful as you prepare?